perfectly clean grout line that honestly looks like brand new, especially when we compare it to this section here. What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to clean and seal your grout so that you never have to scrub it again. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's do this. So there's so many different ways to clean the grout lines depending on what's in the grout, how bad it is, and the condition of your grout. Now you can use a scrubbing brush like this one here. Nice stiff bristles there that are made out of plastic or nylon. Make sure you don't use something like a wire brush because that's going to damage your tile surface as well as your grout lines. You can always use just warm water, but in this case here we're going to be using some cleaning vinegar and some bicarb. And the reason why we're doing this is cleaning vinegar is one of my favorite cleaning products out there. I use it for absolutely everything. We're going to add a little bit of bicarb to it. That's simply going to help it turn into a paste, and at the same time it's going to add just that little bit more of grit. Now, like I said, you can use the just little scrubbing brush like this one here, but it's going to take you a very long time, and I'm very impatient. I've got other things to do. So what we're going to do is use these little attachments here that cost like $5–10. You can buy them online, attach them to your drill, and that's going to make things much faster. So we're going to just simply add a little bit of that bicarb straight into the bucket here. We'll mix a little bit at a time. We'll add some cleaning vinegar to it. And you can hear that starting to fizz away. Not really too concerned about the fizz. We're going to mix that one there up until we've got something that resembles a paste. So we're going to add a little bit more here. So once you've got your consistency right, it just simply resembles a paste. We're going to apply this to the grout line, and we're going to use these little attachments here on the drill. That's going to make my life much easier. So I'm going to do a little test area here to show you guys just how much difference this makes. We'll take our paste and we'll apply it to that grout. A little bit hard to do on the walls. We're also going to do the floors here. So I'll stop it right here and I'll stop it right here so that you guys can see side by side the existing versus what we've just cleaned. We're going to use our little drill attachment here. And I haven't even washed it off yet, but if you have a look right there, that is perfectly clean now. I might actually take this camera off here and bring you guys in and show you just how much difference there is. Once this comes off, you can see there now we've got perfectly clean grout line that honestly looks like brand new, especially when we compare it to this section here and this section right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this whole shower now. I'm going to do all the walls, all the floors, which won't take me very long, especially when we've got larger bristles like this one here or larger attachments. All the floor grout, all the wall grout. Once that's all clean, I'll come back and I'm going to show you guys how to seal it so that we never have to clean this again. So once it's all done, just simply wash everything down. We're going to leave this for a day or two to dry out. Then we're going to come back and we're going to seal it. So it's been about 2 days now. Everything's looking awesome here, nice and clean, and I want to keep it that way. And we're going to be doing that by simply sealing it. Now the sealer that we're using here today is a water-based one. You pretty much have a water-based or a solvent-based one. This one here has no smell and it's going to be a faster dry time. And that's the reason why we're going for a water-based one. This particular product here I haven't actually used before, but they're all pretty much the same, so don't be too concerned about which branded sealer you're going to buy. The applicator may be different, and that's the reason why I've chosen this one here today. The applicator on top is usually a little brush. You squeeze the bottle, it goes into the bristles, and you can brush it into those grout lines. However, this one here has a nice little wheel on there, and that wheel is supposed to be able to glide straight through those grout lines and give you a nice application. The issue I have with this one here, the grout lines on the wall are 1.5 millimeters, and this one here is set at about 3 millimeters. So it's going to work perfect on the floors, but not so much on the walls. What I'm going to be doing as well is masking off all my grout lines here. All the joints are going to have masking tape. And the reason why I'm going to be doing that is if you get any sealer onto your tile, you need to clean it straight away within about 15 to 30 minutes before it dries. And I don't want to miss anything here, so I'm just going to simply mask it up. And the upside about that is you can actually use a brush. So with the walls here, I'm not going to be able to get that applicator straight into that 1.5 millimeter joint. So what I'm going to be doing is simply putting some in a bucket here, and I've got a little tiny brush, one of these little artist brush, and we're going to simply brush it onto those joint lines. So I'm going to mask up straight away now all my vertical joints, apply 2 coats of sealer, and then we're going to peel off that masking tape, apply it onto our horizontal lines, and once again repeat it for 2 coats, walls and floors, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So to apply the masking tape is super simple. I'm just going to show you guys a quick example here on the floor. Just simply pull it out, use your left hand and tack that right on the edge of one side of that grout line. That's going to hold in position there. You can use your finger on the other side and roughly line that one there up into position. If your tape isn't going straight 100%, you can then move it exactly where you need. Tap it with your finger, do the same thing over here, and that section there is ready to go. Press it down nice and firm, especially on those edges. Make sure you use good quality masking tape as well, because cheap tapes always bleed through. And if you haven't experienced that while painting, you need to always get good quality masking tape. So that's one side done. Repeat the same process on the other side. So now I've got all my vertical lines masked off. It's making me dizzy just looking at it. So what I'm going to do is get straight into it. With our floor joints, I'm going to be using this applicator, and with the walls I'm going to be using a brush. So these one here, you just simply flip it upside down, put it in that joint line, and you can see there it's starting to change color. So it's got almost a wet look to it. We just simply continue that all throughout here. So for the walls, I've just got a little bit here in a bucket, using my little artist brush, and just simply brush that on. I can guarantee you guys one thing: if you don't mask off, you're most likely going to regret it, because this stuff is so watery and runny that it will be all over your floor, and you'll have to spend all your time cleaning those tiles and hoping that you haven't missed anything. But this way makes it so much easier and faster. You can see I taped off the bottom as well, just in case if I get a little bit of runs or a bit of excess material, it's going to sit on that masking tape rather than sitting on my tiles. So we're just going to go through, do all of these lines here, let it dry for about 15 to 30 minutes, and then we're going to repeat the process, pull off all that masking tape, and then we're going to do the same thing for our horizontal lines. Once that's all done, I'll show you guys what it ends up looking like. This is probably the best part of the job, most satisfying part of the whole lot, especially when you know you're now finished. So once it's all been cleaned and sealed, this here is the finished product. We no longer have to scrub this every 2 days. Couple things that I learned along the way. Number one, this little applicator that I was trying out for this project here is an absolute gimmick. Waste of money. Number one, it doesn't fit into the joint lines, which we already knew before we started. Number two, it puts out way too much product. So we've got way too much sealer going, especially on those floor joints. And I ended up having to spend a lot more time cleaning than simply applying. Best thing that I could tell you guys is to probably get one with an applicator brush, or just simply buy the actual sealer itself. Once again, any sealer will do. Put it in a bucket and use a brush that's going to be suitable for the size of that joint. That's going to be the best way to do it. Something else to also keep in mind: before you seal it, make sure you're 100% happy with your grout, because whatever the condition of your grout is at the time of sealing, that's the way it's going to stay. So whether that means you have to clean it 2-3 times, make sure you do it. But those little drill bits that I used were the absolute best money ever spent, made things so much faster and easier. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video and you've learned something new. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Billshowto.